I'm Emily Mashak, and you're listening to Tuned In to NoCo, Town Square Media's show that lets you know what matters in NoCo. I'm talking today with Jon Deane, the CEO of greatschools.org, to talk about the 2020 College Success Awards. So thank you for joining me today, Jon.
Thanks for having me, Emily.
Of course. Now, before we get into the awards themselves, I want to talk a little bit about Great Schools. For those who are unfamiliar, how would you describe greatschools.org?
We are the leading national nonprofit organization providing information to support parents as they support their kids in getting to a quality school. We provide information about schools and parenting guidance to help parents help their kids thrive.
That is awesome. Can you tell me more about your role with Great Schools?
I'm the CEO of the organization, and my role is to support our team and trying to uplift and celebrate schools across the country that are doing great jobs for our kids.
What has working with Great Schools taught you about education that maybe you didn't realize before?
This role is got such a great lens, and our organization has such a great lens on the power of parents and how parents are such an important part of ensuring a child's success. I think we all knew that, and I knew that coming in, but our ability to really work with parents and hear what they want for their kids and see that at every level is so it's so powerful. It's so informing of the work we do. And what we see is parents everywhere have similar things they want for their kids. And so we try to help them access it.
Right. Now, this might be a hard question, but do you have any personal stories that you've seen over your career as to how Great Schools and the education system has really made a difference in the lives of parents and their kids?
It's a great question. I have been working, on my own life, my own personal life. I've used Great Schools many times and talked to friends and colleagues about it. But, in my work, I hear people all the time telling us things like, I was trying to really understand more about a school, and you helped me access information that enabled me to, ask better questions in my community, or to approach my teacher or a principal with more information that I could help support my child. We get that a lot. We also get many parents saying, you provided me information at just the right time and the right moment when I really needed someone to support me in the decision I was making. And so those are the moments when we recognize we can really be a resource for so many people.
Right. And obviously going to the greatschools.org website is a great way to access this information. But just off the cuff, what are some of the things you think parents should be looking for when it comes to choosing the right school for their child?
What we're celebrating here today is our College Success Awards. And I can tell you, what we know is schools are complex and they succeed in so many ways. And it's our goal to find success wherever it lies. We see programmatic choices that schools are making, things like offering early college programs or dual enrollment models. We see different types of mentoring models, providing access to college counseling or different kind of guidance models in schools that are just really leading schools to support all the students in the school, not just in school, but into post-secondary success. And so we're really excited to both highlight some of those practices and give parents access to videos and tools so they can see what it looks like in practice. And then look for it in their own community, or potentially say, hey, wait a minute, this is something that seems to be working in other places. What would it take for us to have this here too? So that's what we're really excited about today.
Right. That's awesome. And like you said, we're talking about the College Success Awards, and 76 Colorado schools were recipients of those awards. So what does it mean to be a recipient of a College Success Award?
These are the schools that get students not just through high school and into college, but have success with their students have success once they get into post-secondary pathways. And so we are taking data from the high school experience with that post-secondary information and putting it together to get a new look that others haven't had before these awards. And so really trying to shine a light on schools that are doing that well for all of their students. And so what it means is if your school's got that award, you can be proud of the work the school is doing to actually help all students succeed. That's something that we think is really important.
Mm-hmm. And you said you look at data. That's how you determine the winners?
We do. We pull data from a number of different sources, state and federal data sets, and we look at it over a period of time to be able to compare schools against the criteria we have for the award. And we're really excited, as you said, to celebrate so many schools in Colorado and in your area that have hit this criteria and are getting this award this year.
Yeah, thank you. We're excited as well. What do you think is the general trend that it takes to lead to this success? How can schools prepare to send their students off in this direction?
I think the schools that we see have an intentional focus on helping all students get on a path that will lead them to success. So it's communicating with students early, helping to identify what their passions are, helping them to find a path forward that will be a really good fit for that student. And that comes, again, some places it's a dual enrollment model where they're taking college level classes while in high school. Other places it's just some type of career exploration that they may be doing. And we've seen that in different models. And we've got a number of winners in your area. They may have some of these practices at play. And I hope parents will go and take a look at what's going on in each of these schools to see if those practices are happening. But, especially in this time now in COVID, when so much is up in the air and we have a lot of questions about what's going on, we find that looking at the schools that have these strong base for the practices that they have in place are great inspirations for us to recognize how are these schools adapting and what are they preparing their kids for now. And so we're going to continue to be looking to these winners to help us all understand what we can be doing going forward.
Yeah, I saw my alma mater on that list, and it was fun to see that on there. But like you said, it's no secret that COVID-19 has made this school year incredibly challenging. What would your advice be for educators who might be struggling with how to make it through?
I think the advice for educators, for parents, for leaders is to recognize how hard everyone is working to make it through, and that this is really going to take everyone in a collective effort to keep our focus on our kids, and especially on the kids who have circumstances that may make it harder for learning to happen. And so let's make sure that we're putting our resources in the right places and we're keeping focused on all of our students and having patience with each other through this process. I know there's so many challenges. None of us can predict what the college process will look like for our current high school students next year. But we know if we stick to the practices that have been shown to be very effective with kids in the past, and we continue to adapt as situations change, I think that's the best advice we could give.
What else would you like listeners to know about either greatschools.org and the College Success Awards, or about education in general, especially in this current climate?
Yeah, I'd love listeners to go to www.greatschools.org, look up your school or look up other schools in the area and see if there are award winners, and then take a look at some of the practices from CSA winners across the country that we've highlighted on the site. And then have a conversation with others in your community about whether these practices are happening at your school or whether they're things that you may bring in or adapt. Because we know, again, everyone can be part of helping to make a really strong, successful college-going community where all kids have an opportunity to thrive. And we want to make sure that we provide that information to parents and to education leaders about what's working in other places so they can bring it back to their schools.
Definitely. Well, thank you, Jon, for sharing this information. I know it'll be a great resource for our listeners.
No, I just think it's a great day to celebrate success in schools. 2020, we all need things to celebrate. And so we are very proud of these schools and excited to be able to share this information with your listeners.
I agree. Thank you so much, Jon.
All right, take care.
Again, that was Jon Deane, the CEO of greatschools.org. Learn more about the College Success Awards by visiting greatschools.org.